Hey, how's it going out there, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Cash, and this is Weekly Recap. I'm going to go over a week of me operating this truck in the United States. It's a 7-day or less period. That's what a week means. I don't talk about the carrier I'm leased onto. I'm leased onto an 80-20 split refrigerated carrier. That means of the total amount of the load, I get 80%, they get 20%. Um, if the loads are not refrigerated, I will talk about it and tell you why they're not refrigerated. But the majority of the loads I do are refrigerated or frozen. And that's all I can think of right now. This load is from the end of April. I am behind on these. Oh, I know I'm behind. But it is what it is. I'm trying to get them caught up. There might be a week coming soon where I have 2 in 1 week just to kind of get us back on a program. I took off a week in there between here and there, so that'll make up a little bit of the ground. But let's talk about it. Operating a truck in this environment is getting tougher and tougher. Um, this is, like I said, April 2024. This is a 7-day period that I'm going to be operating here, talking about. I did 2 loads during this week. I did it like I like to do. I took a load from Minnesota, where I live, out, and then a load straight back to where I needed to be. This load does not come back to Minnesota. I did not go home after this one. In this trucking environment, I have been uh, running like usually one out, one back, maybe not all the way back to Minnesota, and then out and back to Minnesota. Um, it's longer times out, so I've been taking a little bit longer home time. Normally, I like to run like a 7 to 10 day period, go home, rinse, repeat, stay home 2 or 3 days. Now I've been doing more like 15, 16 days out and then taking 3, 4, 5 days at home just to make a kind of similar amount of home time, but it's costing me more to go home now, as far as like the loads back coming back to Minnesota aren't paying worth a damn, really. So, like this load does not come back to Minnesota. This load comes back to Iowa. Then I reloaded out of Iowa the next week and went out. So it is what it is. Trying to survive this market, trying to make the money I got to make. I got a set amount I need to make every week. I pay myself a salary as an owner operator. That's how I set it up. I just pay myself a salary, and so my business has to make more than my salary and the cost of operating the truck, or we're insolvent. So that's what we're trying to keep up with these days. Let's get into it. First load out of Minnesota to Texas, 1 pick, 5 drops, 5 drops. Um, all in the Houston area, 1 outside of Houston, and then 2 or 3 in the Houston area. Then I finaled out in Pasadena, Texas, which, if you guys know, is, kind of just outside of Houston. So it kind of just went through Houston, is what it did. And that was a pretty good load there. That was negative 10 degrees, 22,000 pounds. I like that. I like a lighter load. What I consider a light load is usually like 25,000 or below. It's what I shoot for. But I haul freight, I take whatever they put in there, honestly. Um, that load paid $4,700. It was 44 empty miles, 1337 by the time I ran around Houston all over the place. And that was 1381 total miles. And then out of Texas, right out of Pasadena there, I got a reload that was picked up the following morning. So I got emptied out at like noon, went, parked, got reloaded the next morning, and that load was Texas to Iowa. Not a bad run. 1 and 1. It was 0 degrees on that one. 42,000 pounds, and that was 17 empty miles, 1,071 loaded miles for a total of 1,088 miles, and that load paid $2,050. So that paid right at $2 a mile. Now, I could have cut up through the woods and brought the loaded miles down a little bit on that, but I went around the way I wanted to go, so it added about 50 miles to that load. So that's just a decision I made. Uh, Sometimes when I have a heavy load like that, I would prefer to just stay on a freeway. It's like I could cut 50 miles out, but then I gotta go over to St. Louis and run up US 61 and all that. And I've had problems over there in Hannibal, Missouri. If you guys been watching the channel long enough, I got caught up in one of those red light tickets over there and had to fight that thing for like 5 months before they would come off of it. And it still cost me like $270, even getting it reduced down to a parking ticket. I don't know. If you've ever been through Hannibal, watch your butt over there on US 61. That goes green light, yellow light, red light. The yellow is like 1 second long. And if your truck is in the middle of the intersection when it goes red, they write you a ticket. That's what happened to me. A truck is like 70 something foot long. I tried to explain to them. I can't reverse back. Once I'm in the middle of the intersection, it goes yellow. I got to keep moving. I don't know. I ain't gonna rehash all that, even though I kind of just did, maybe. Man, whatever. But that was the second load, 0 degrees, 42,000 pounds up to Iowa, which was by design. I had already um, agreed to a load in Iowa, and this load took me right back up there to it. So that was great to find a load with only 17 miles of deadhead to get me to a load that I already had agreed to. It's really good. In this market, that's the key right now to me. Is number one is fuel prices are going down, but you've still got to be fuel economy and efficient. Stop idling that thing. Um, and this is some little roundabout advice here. Most of you guys already know this, but for the new guys, let me tell you, stop idling that truck. Stop it. I mean, go spend $1,000 and get you a generator and an air conditioner. If you don't have an APU, you're going to spend more than $1,000 on diesel this summer if you idle the truck. Why not just go ahead and go get it, and be comfortable? Um, I got videos on that. You can go check that out. But you got to be fuel efficient, and it's hard to do because you can't necessarily control it. But deadhead needs to be kept to a minimum in this environment. Um, it's like I've seen some YouTubers. I don't watch them as much as I used to, but what are the guys doing that say, "Oh, I won't move my truck for less than $3 a mile"? What are you doing in this market, this freight market? What are you doing? I just don't see how you do it because I mean, hell, I could deadhead all the way back to Minnesota sometimes and can't get $3 a mile out of people that I do business with all the time. So if you've got a secret sauce out there and you want to you want to share it with me, go right ahead. Um, but I take what I can get on these backhauls, and I do factor in deadhead. Um, you know, it, it's a factor. I have to factor it in. I can't be riding around empty to go pick up something that really doesn't pay much better than what I could have just took out of the place I'm at. So um, you know, like Texas here, I just took this load $2 a mile out of Pasadena. I probably could have deadheaded all the way down to McAllen or Laredo and got a better rate. But at the end of the day, it's a push, by the time you factor in the deadhead and all that. So I don't know. We're in a tough market right now. We're trying to survive it. I would recommend for anybody, if you don't want to be a trucker, now's the time to not be a trucker. If you jumped in on a money grab, no shame in jumping out when the money's bad, because it helps the other people that are in it for the long term. Um, that is what it is. I'm just saying. If you're a wannabe trucker and you didn't want to be now, now's go find something else to do. No shame in that. I have been exploring other options. I love trucking. I like being a trucker. But at the end of the day, I'm not married to it. I'll leave it just as quick as I got into it. If the money's right on something else, it's just what it is. It's how I look at it. So let's go over these total numbers here. So the revenue for the week was $67.50. That's total revenue for the week. My 80% of that equals up $5,400. $100 is my 80%. I ran 2,469 all miles. That's a week I kind of like. I like a slower paced week. It's just for me. I know some people, they like to, run it out, get a reset, run it out, get a reset. It's not how I like to live. It's just not for me. So about 2,500 a week for my soft ass. That's about where I like to be. 2,408 loaded miles, 61 miles of deadhead. That is 2.5% deadhead. That's where I like to be in this kind of freight market because all miles count. No matter what some people show you, it's got to be all miles or nothing for me. That's 273 all miles. That's 218 my 80%. And that is 280 a loaded mile, And I put that loaded mile in there just so you can see where the market's at. And I should have got a better rate, and I did get a better rate because of multi-stop, When multi-stop starts tying up multiple days, you got to get more money for it. So I don't like to necessarily be all about the rate per mile. I don't like to be all about the day rate. I don't like to be all about the total revenue of a load. It's all factored in. Okay. Some people focus on day rate. Well, if you focus on day rate, you might be losing a little bit on the miles. You know what I mean? Um, to me, all have to be factored in to make it a good load. And it's if it's going to be multi-stop, it's got to pay a little better because when I get down there to Houston, I got 5 drops to do. I did. It was set up pretty bam, 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 bam. Only 2 of them were major grocery houses, and the other 3 were kind of mom and pops. So the first day I did a major grocery warehouse, and then I did 2 more stops that day. But then the other 2 were kind of dragged out a little bit. So it is what it is, as long as it pays, right? So let's talk about variable cost. 1185 on diesel. Diesel. If you need help with diesel, stick around to the end of the video. I got a commercial there to run a product for you that will help you with diesel prices. Yes, sir. So stick around for that. 209 on reefer fuel. I don't remember what trailer I was pulling during this time, but I've switched trailers. My trailer I used to pull, I pulled for like 3 or 4 years. I just can't seem to get that trailer back. Someone picked it up off the yard, and I can't seem to get it back. It was a great trailer. I know why they don't want to. I didn't want to drop it. It needed a repair, so I had to take a different trailer. It is what it is. So, 209 in reefer, which when you're pulling, -10 in Texas, I remember it being very hot that week. It's just what it is. Frozen food, and especially multi-stop. It is what it is. 209 in reefer. $41 in diff fluids. $59 in tolls. I really used the app Toll Guru to run around the tolls when I was in Houston, because almost every GPS I know wants you to run toll roads everywhere because it's the most fastest, efficient way. But when I have time, I want to go around the expensive ones. So then you set the GPS to no tolls, and then it just takes you anywhere and everywhere. And it's like, I need a blend, So that's why I look it up on Toll Guru to see how much a toll is. Because if a toll costs me $2, $3, and it saves me 15 miles of driving, yeah, I'll pay that. But if I got to drive, down a certain toll road that's $15, and I can go 2 miles out of route and go around that, so all that's got to be factored in. $59 in tolls for, not bad. Most of that was the Kansas Turnpike going down and coming back up, I think was what most of that was. Going down at least, maybe, I don't remember. $14, I scaled that heavy load back up to Iowa. I did not scale that first load, which brings veritable cost to $1,508 for total veritable cost. We bring over my 5,400. My business is 80%. 5,400 minus 1,508, and that leaves me 3,892 to do what I have to do with. I put 400 of that in the maintenance account, leaving me 3,492 for the week. So it is what it is. This is a good week. I take these weeks every week that I'm out running because technically, that's a good week for me. You knock a few $100 more off for trucking insurance, and I still get a pretty good paycheck out of that. Basically, I pay my salary and I keep a little money in the bank on that week. So I'll take it. Wish I could get more weeks like this, or this is the kind of week I like. I like, you know, a good multi-stop, good rate per mile, good day rate load, and then, something coming straight back to where I need to be. So, wish I could get more of these weeks. Fuel cost for the week was 48 cents a mile. That's truck cost, by the way, just operating the truck. I don't factor in DEF or Reefer into that because I've already told you what I spent on those. So you can break that down how you need to. But as far as operating the truck down the road, that was 48 cents a mile fuel cost. So that's the week, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to smash that like button for me. If you don't mind, become a subscriber if you want more content like this. And always come join me for a live show because that's where things get out of hand and the nonsense happens. If you want to learn more about trucking, if you're a new truck driver, be sure to come into the live show. But don't be afraid to ask questions in there, okay? Because that's where the knowledge is in the live shows. I'm telling you right now, there's people in there that got years and years of experience. They own fleets. We got, lifelong company drivers. They can teach you about that side of things. Great place to hang out. Come join me for a live show. Until then, take care of each other out there. Remember, people are more important than trucking. Hi, I want to talk to you real quick about the ES Advantage card. Do you need discounts at major truck stop chains? They got them. Do you need discount on shop rates at TA and Love's? They got them. Tire discounts. They even got health insurance now. Click the link down below. Easy application, no credit check. Sign up. They give you a call back. They'll take all your information and you'll be in the network. How important is Wi-Fi? Very important. That's why I use Nomad Internet in my truck. Yes, sir. This is a Wi-Fi modem that you put in your truck. Check them out. Links below. This thing gets signal when my phone will not. So if you're ever stuck at that truck stop with no signal, you'll wish you had some Nomad in your truck.